This feature presentation may contain spoilers. Viewer discretion advised. You have been warned.
Resident Evil 4's original introduction was brief and effective in catching players up to speed with the story so far. For some fans, they felt the intro was rushed and didn't provide the proper closure to the original trilogy. Well, it's now clear Capcom did not want to waste any time getting Leon back in the hands of fans after 7 long years. An additional 17 years has passed, and next year, players will again take control of Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4 Remake. There has been a decent amount of gameplay footage and images released in the recent months to piece together the possible introduction of Resident Evil 4 Remake. Together, we will look back at the original intro to Resident Evil 4 for clues to help us predict the remakes. Capcom has an opportunity to captivate the experience for the original and new players of Resident Evil 4 in the opening scenes alone. Welcome to the introduction. The original introduction gave a brief recap on the events of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Trust me, I mean brief. Followed up by the status of Umbrella, bankrupt. Fans were unhappy with the abrupt ending of Umbrella and wanted a more climactic ending instead. No need to worry though, Capcom has since released Umbrella Chronicles to show the true fall of Umbrella. Further into the introduction, we see Leon for the first time since Resident Evil 2. He's being escorted by 2 police officers to a nearby village and tells us about his mission: rescuing the president's daughter. After some driving and chatting, they arrive outside of the house where Leon encounters the first Granado. Now, let's switch to the remake, and remember, this is all speculation. I predict the opening scene will start with the Los Illuminados performing a sacrifice on the lady we've seen from the trailer. This scene will set the tone for the rest of the game and show players for the first time the Los Plagas ritual. Afterwards, Ashley wakes up outside of the village, and either we get to play as her or we see a cutscene of her running through to the village. The ritual or Ashley will be first. Personally, I like the idea of starting the game playing as Ashley, and you'll understand why in a moment. After we see the ritual or Ashley, we will get a similar monologue from Leon getting players up to speed with the story. Maybe this time we will get a better explanation for the fall of Umbrella. During the monologue, we will see what Leon has been up to since Resident Evil 2, and this time we are going to see the forgotten comrade, Jack Krauser. Reliable sources who have played the game during the showcase has confirmed Krauser does make an appearance and is shown training Leon. Continuing the monologue, we are briefed on Ashley and then see Leon speaking with the president. After that, cue the music and let's get this party started. Just like the original, we will see Leon and hear the conversations between him and the officers. Here's when things get interesting. The house will no longer be visible from the vehicle, and this time instead of Leon getting out to search the nearby house, the officers go first instead. In the original, the officers were supposed to aid Leon, but instead chose to stay inside the vehicle. We all know now that was a mistake. After waiting for a while, maybe Leon will sense he's being watched and leaves the vehicle to find the other 2 officers. We know from released gameplay footage the house is located deeper into the woods this time and not in plain sight like the original. Eventually, Leon will reach the much bigger house compared to the original and proceed to go inside. After exploring the house, Leon will encounter the first Granado, and then he will take him out, or so he thinks. Heading downstairs, Leon meets one officer already dead and then gets attacked by the same Granado from earlier. All these things we've seen so far. Starting from the basement, Leon will head upstairs to the 2nd floor where he sees everything relating to Ashley and calls it into Hannigan. One thing to note is, I believe once we have entered the house and jumped out of the window, there will be no going back, forcing us to continue straight. Resident Evil 4 is known for having a linear gameplay experience. Some areas would not be available once you've passed them. In a recent interview, the producer claimed the game will be around the same length as the original. However, with the house not being so close to the vehicle and the officers going first ahead of Leon, it's starting to look like things are being drawn out to take up more time. For example, the original introduction might have taken 3 minutes to get to the first Gennaro, while the remake may take 5 to 10 minutes, so keep that in mind going forward. I say we won't be able to return because this time around warning signs are seen before you reach the house and not after like the original. Plus, the trail to the village would not be on the right side of the house, but instead at the back side. We will continue down the trail encountering more Gennardos until we finally come across a man's best friend. If players do play as Ashley in the very beginning, then I truly hope we have a chance to save the dog. In the event we don't get to play as Ashley, then we already know the fate of a man's best friend. Further down the path, we will finally reach the village and use the binoculars to see the villagers and the other dead officer. Entering the village, players have the choice of being stealthy or aggressive. Myself, I will take the aggressive action approach because even if players do choose to be stealthy, we all must face Dr. Salvador. After surviving against multiple Gennardos and Dr. Salvador, the church bell will ring thanks to Ada Wong, and the fight will be over. Again, referring back to the recent interview with the producer, we know the village showdown will end during live gameplay, and there will be no special cutscene. We also know the famous bingo line will also be said. So, the introduction will end with Ada ringing the bell and Leon saying bingo. Not too bad. This has been my prediction for Resident Evil 4 Remake's introduction. What do you think? Did I miss anything? And what predictions do you have? Comment below, let me know, and remember, survive the horror with Purple Herb.